Hands up! Freedom of speech! Hands up! Freedom of speech! Hands up! Freedom of speech! Hands up!
Believe it or not, I'm not very great at public speaking, so I'm just going to read. Right here? Better? All right. I'm not that great at public speaking, so I'm just going to read from the sheet. All right. You know, we never wanted... What? Jesus Christ. We never know what to call you guys when we started New Hampshire 5051 because you don't belong to us. You aren't our members. You aren't our constituents. If anything, we belong to you. We are here to amplify your voices, our voices. We just want to make sure that we, the people, are being heard. So we call you the people. That's why we are here, to amplify you, your voices, the people.
Okay. 2 months ago, we each decided we were finished sitting and watching the White House burn our Constitution. We didn't know what to do, but we had to do something. We saw the call for 50 protests, 50 states, one day. We found each other, and then we found you. Because we are not alone. Look around. In 1 week, we gathered a few hundred individuals who all believe in our country and who all believe in each other. We were not going to watch our country neglect the people who built it. The veterans who fought for it, the teachers who educate it, the taxpayers who fund it, the LGBTQ plus community who fought to bring it into current times, the BIPOC community who has shared so much knowledge and culture to help us make better decisions and be a better country, and the disabled and differently abled individuals who have so much to share and refuse to be left behind. We stand here and promise to continue fighting for you, the people.
Before our first protest was over, you asked, what's next? We had to ask each other, what's next? What do we want to do? And who do we want to be? You see, New Hampshire is filled with advocacy groups, as you've heard, who are all working hard to fight the good fight, to make some good trouble. We want to guide us all forward, not start over. We want to do meaningful, impactful work. We know that our voices are loudest when they are together. We know there is so much work to do, and we cannot tire out or burn out. When our democracy and our people are being attacked at every angle, nobody can do it all. We believe it is best to pick 1 or 2 subjects that you are passionate about and follow those. Trust that other groups are making good trouble in other areas.
So this brings us back to what's next. Who are we? What are we doing here? We are the people's compass. We are here to amplify the voice of the people and to help you find ways to take the next steps to make an impactful difference within the advocacy focus that you are passionate about. We are here to point the way forward. Today, we have invited our friends at a variety of organizations here to introduce themselves to you. They're each working to help us advance in different areas, and they have been fighting this fight for a long time. They know how to make change. They know how to help marginalized communities, and they need our help more than ever.
Standing out here and making our voices heard, this is important. We're going to keep doing this. But what are we doing between protests? We need to be actively supporting our communities, and we believe these people will help us do that. Now that we've cleared up who we are and what we're doing, let's introduce our first speaker.
Sebastian Fuentes. He is our NHGP political director. He's been so helpful to 5051, guys. He is truly an activist, and he has some wisdom to share, and here he is.
Thank you, Victoria. Let me just get this podium cleaned out. Let me just go into the rain, because we're all good today. Whoa. Folks, I'm just so happy to be with you all today, and so inspired that the fact that none of the organizers decided to postpone this event, because this just gives us a little taste. This just gives us a little taste of what our ancestors have to endure for us to be able to be here today right now. Again, my name is Sebastian Fuentes. I stand before you with gratitude in my heart and determination in my voice, and I'm going a little bit back. Just to let you know that New Hampshire is a beautiful place that we all call our home. It's mountains, it's rivers, a strong community, the lakes region, all of it. It reminds us that we're part of something greater than just ourselves. We live in a state that values freedom, but I stand here today to say that freedom is not just about what we have, but it's about what we fight for. We cannot settle for the comfort of what we have when there are still voices unheard, struggles unseen, and rights unfinished. As an immigrant myself, I have been told that I need to go back to my country many times. But let me tell you something. Why should I go back to an 80-degree weather, 300 days a year, good food, good music, hospitable people, and an amazing landscape? You know why I would not go back? Because this is my home right now. Now, I remember living in South America and being told that there is such a thing as the American dream. The promise that if you work hard, we can achieve the impossible. That if you embrace the American way, you will thrive. But let me tell you something. I have done everything they said I should, yet they still call me illegal. I have followed the path to become a U.S. citizen, yet some people still tell me I need to go back home. I have gone to school to get a degree, the American dream, right? Well, that's wrong because I'm going to graduate with a ton of school loans debt. I have raised 4 children as well. They were all born here up in the North Country. However, they have fewer rights than I had when I became a U.S. citizen right now. So what is this dream they talk about? What is this dream they talk about? I call that bullshit. They told me that work hard and you will make it in America, they said. I know single moms that are working 2 jobs just to pay for rent and daycare. So what is this dream they talk about? I know seniors and veterans living off a monthly check, even though they worked their entire lives, and some of them went to war for us. So what is this dream they talk about? And that is because politicians keep moving the goalposts further away, especially politicians that work in that building behind us. Now, it's not laziness that holds people back. It is a society that has made harder and harder for working people to thrive, to climb the very ladder that they were promised. And that is why we must demand more, because hope is not enough. We need action, we need change, and we need it now. Now, let me bring it back to immigration a little bit, because that topic is a hot one for me. I'm a proud Latino man. And as much as I want to cry in front of you right now, I'm here to tell you that enough is enough. We cannot call ourselves a nation of freedom and opportunity when we are tearing families apart. When we are exiling our neighbors and turn our backs to those who came here seeking the very ideals that we claim to uphold. Now, deportation is not just a policy. It is a moral failure. Deportation is the sound of a child crying because their parent will never come home. Deportation is the fear that grips communities. It is a system built on cruelty, one that punishes people for daring to dream a better life, just like me. So I'm here to ask you right now, no more broken families, no more lives destroyed, no more treating human beings as disposable. Immigration is not a crime, but you know what is a crime? Tearing families apart. Now it is time for compassion, it is time for justice, it's time for a system that recognizes the dignity of every person. It is time to end deportations and the inhumane system that betrays immigrants all across the country. Now, I'm thankful to be here right now, but I'm also mindful that with this administration, I might not be here tomorrow. I'm thankful for the people who fight. I'm thankful for the organizers here right behind me who never give up, and I know they won't give up. I'm thankful for the communities of New Hampshire that come together when it matters the most with gratitude, but gratitude cannot silence urgency right now. So let us rise, let us put forward, let us demand more to those folks in power, let me tell you something. Let me remind you something. That the title that you hold, the titles that you hold are good. They're really good. They get you those fancy seats at the restaurant. They get you those front tables at the fancy events. But that's all good and dandy. What are you doing with that title? Because titles are good, but the purpose is better. What you do with that title is better. Now, before I wrap up, I just want to remind you some words for our late Congressman John Lewis to say, make some noise, get into some good trouble, necessary trouble if you are. So New Hampshire, I'm here to ask you right now, are you ready to get into some good trouble right now? All right, let's remember, there is no testimony without a test. And we're being tested right now. So let's fight together. Thank you so much.
All right, awesome. So Grace is the New Hampshire Program Coordinator for American Friends Service Committee. She is an artist, an activist, a dancer, a community organizer. Grace has dedicated her work to justice and liberation, grounded in her personal experiences and academic background in Africana studies and sociology.
Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. I am so excited to see so many people here. It took me, yes, give yourselves a round of applause for coming out in the rain and in the cold to stand up for our country. So I'm going to go beyond this because I want to be as close to y'all as possible. I know it's raining, so I don't want to get rained onto this microphone. But I just want to say first, thank you all for having me here. I had remarks. I wrote it all down, but you know what? I forgot it in my car, so I'm just going to speak from the heart. Okay? Because I am just so incredibly overwhelmed to see you all here today. And you should be so incredibly proud of yourselves for coming out today because this is not normal. This is not the country that we fought for. This is not the country that we sacrificed for. This is not the country that we believed in. But for so long, this country has acted in oppressive and horrible ways to people of color, to black folks, to indigenous folks, to immigrants. And right now, we are standing together in solidarity saying, not one more, not again, not under our name. And so many of you don't know me. That was a great intro, but I'm going to share a little bit about myself. I was born in the Democratic Republic of Congo in 1987. Let me get a shout out for my 80s babies. That's right. Okay. I was born in the Democratic Republic of Congo in 1987, a country that has been racked by the impacts of colonialism, of exploitation, and interference from this country and other Western nations. See, this is what I like. I want to get close to y'all, all right? Because we're going to have a conversation. I know folks in the back might not be able to hear, but I'm going to carry my voice and we can hear each other, all right? So I was born in the Congo, and my mother came to this country hoping, having a dream to be able to better her life, to be able to get skills and a degree to take that back so she could help her family and her countrymen, right? So something that we can all relate to. And instead, she came to this country, and she did not realize that she would come to this country and become black. Because in Congo, we're not black, we're just Congolese. Right? She came here, she experienced the worst of racism. And she came to the United States, she came to New Hampshire, Manchester, New Hampshire, where she raised me for 38 years. And for decades, just like so many of our loved ones, our families, our mothers, our fathers, our grandparents, she worked her ass off. She went to school. She worked as an LNA, a licensed nursing assistant in this state, caring for our elders, caring for our disabled loved ones, giving and giving and giving. And all that time, she lived undocumented. And all that time, when I was finally able to join her in 1990, how long ago was that? Can I get a shout out for my 90s babies? That's right. In 1990, I came and I joined her here. And in a few short years, I was also undocumented. But like so many of our parents and our loved ones, she made sure to protect me from that fact. She made sure so that I would not know, that I would grow up here, even with all the challenges of being a little black girl in a big old white state, right? She protected me as long as she could until I was on the cusp of graduating high school, right here at Bishop Brady High School. I'm a daughter of the Granite State, just like all of you here, right? Even though I was born in a different country. I found out in my senior year that I was undocumented, and my whole life fell apart because I didn't know what that meant, but I was gonna learn, and it was gonna be a hard, hard lesson. And what I learned is that this immigration system is broken. It has been broken for so many years. And Trump, in so many ways, is a symptom and not the cause of that brokenness. But what we are seeing under a Trump administration is how something broken can be turned into a weapon of the worst sort. When Trump was inaugurated president in 2017, when he won that election, I knew my whole life was gonna change. I was on DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival, something that President Obama put through. But it wasn't enough. It was purely temporary protected status for a girl who had grown up here, graduated here, worked here, paid taxes here, like so many of the 11 million undocumented people who call the United States home. Those undocumented people are not our enemies. We have been lied to over and over again, putting the blame for the lack of affordable housing, the lack of good health care, the lack of decent education for our children at the feet of people who are simply looking for a place to call home, looking for safety. And why do we get lied to like that? It is so easy. Why? Because it is so expensive to create entire enforcement systems that target groups of people that are used as a training ground to then be used against us. It is so much easier to blame poor people. It is so much easier to blame undocumented people. It is so much easier to do that than to blame the oligarchs, the wealthy, the corporations that bleed our country dry. So in that first Trump administration, we saw horrors that we didn't think we could. We saw children separated from their families. We saw people thrown away and tried to be forgotten. We see now the results of that in a second Trump administration, where our loved ones, because immigrants are our loved ones. They are our colleagues. They are our neighbors. They are our lovers. They are our husbands, our wives, our children, our grandparents. They are our family. And to target them is to target all of us. Is this what we bled for? Is this what we died for? Is this what we sacrificed for? Is this the country we want? No. And so it is so important for us to take a look at what is happening now to immigrants in our communities, because Trump made it real clear when he was on the campaign trail. He made it real clear when he was president the first time. He made it real clear that he would come after immigrants. And he said that that would solve our problems, when we know that it wasn't true. And instead, now we see collusion between local law enforcement, police who are meant to serve and protect our communities, attacking, kidnapping, taking our loved ones off of the streets. And for what? For standing up for what's right? Is that what we fight for? No. Is that what we sacrificed for? Is that what we bled for? Is that what the United States stands for? No, it is not, and it is unacceptable. We see students, people here on valid visas, people here with green cards, people here on valid status being kidnapped off the street. Why? For standing up against a genocide. Let's make it real clear. What is happening in Palestine is a genocide. What is happening in Congo is a genocide. What is happening in Sudan is a genocide. And this country is culpable. We always have money for war. We always have money for police. We always have money for immigration enforcement. We always have money for jails, prisons, and detention centers. What about money for our communities? What about investments in Medicaid and treatment centers, mental health, disability services, affordable housing, for God's sakes? We are the richest, most powerful nation on earth, and we have a man sitting in that Oval Office who is determined to unravel everything that this country stands for, because for so long, this country has been hypocritical. We know it. Because the ways that this country has treated black people, brown people, immigrants, Hispanics, Latinos, all of it, we have seen it play out. Our LGBTQ siblings, we have seen it play out. The attacks on our trans siblings, we see it play out. It is either democracy for all or democracy for none. And so I ask you today to not only stand with us, all of us here together in this circle, in this front of this State House, where over and over again we see it's not just Trump. It is our own legislators. It is our own governor who continues to put our communities on the chopping block. Immigrants are not our enemies. No, fascism is our enemy. Injustice is our enemy. And we will not stand for it. We will not allow our communities to be weaponized. We will not allow our communities to be terrorized, to be taken from us, to be kidnapped off the street and disappeared into a system that dehumanizes us, that treats us like aliens, as if every single person here hasn't been born on this planet Earth. No human being is illegal. And so I ask you today, show up, continue to show up, stand up in solidarity with our immigrant brothers, sisters, and siblings, because they will use this against us. Our communities deserve better than this. Our communities deserve a democracy that works for all of us. And so I urge you not only to stand up against the fascism in the White House, but to stand up against the encroaching fascism in the State House. So Frantz Fanon is a great writer, and he made a quote that said, we have this, and I'm going to paraphrase like crazy, is that in every generation, we have the opportunity to either stand together, to either fulfill our destiny or to fall underneath it. This is our opportunity. We are in this together. We do not leave anyone behind, and we will not be allowed to allow ourselves to be gaslit into believing that anyone other than the wealthy, the powerful, the oligarchs, and those fascists in training are the ones who truly, truly need to be brought down. Because America is for all of us. And if it is not for all of us, then it is for none of us. Thank you.
All right, our next speaker is Matt Wilhelm. He's currently serving as a member of the New Hampshire House of Representatives. He's from Manchester. He's a member of the Democratic Party. He has also held the position of Minority Leader last term and currently serves as the House Democratic Caucus Chair. He's been a huge supporter of ours, and he's here to say a few words.
Hey, good morning, New Hampshire! My name is Matt Wilhelm. I am a state rep from Manchester. I proudly serve as chair of the strong 176-member House Democratic Caucus here in Concord. It is a diverse, hard-working team of volunteer citizen legislators from across our great state who are united in fighting for you and our shared values every single day here in Concord. Many of my colleagues are here today, including House Democratic leader Alexis Simpson, and attending rallies like this in communities all across our state. We are proud to stand in solidarity with you and against the extreme actions and backwards policies of Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and MAGA Republicans in D.C. and here in Concord, whose impacts are only beginning to be felt, but are clearly aimed at wreaking havoc on our communities, on our economy, on our democracy, and on hard-working Granite Staters and their families who are struggling to get by. Friends, we are here today because we believe in a better future for New Hampshire and for our country. A future where families can thrive, where students can prepare for their future here in New Hampshire without being crushed by student debt. Where our parents and grandparents are able to comfortably retire with dignity and security. And where small businesses can grow and provide jobs for our neighbors so that they can pay rent and put food on the table for their families. But today, that future is under attack by the reckless and harmful actions of Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and their cronies in D.C. And whose fiscally irresponsible and downright heartless approach to governance is being emulated right here in the building behind me as House Republicans, the House Republican majority, just recommended a budget that prioritizes tax cuts for the ultra-wealthy and big multinational corporations while cutting essential services for Granite Staters who are counting on us. And if you haven't heard already, you need to know today, the budget that New Hampshire House Republicans passed in the Finance Committee on Thursday, it's a direct assault on every single one of us. Whether you are a parent, a grandparent, a student, a worker, a senior, a homeowner, a renter, or a small business owner, these Republican cuts will hurt you. I want to tell you about a few of the things that are in this House Republican budget, the things that the Republicans want to take away from Granite Staters, and the impact it will have on you, on your family, our communities, and the very foundation of our great state. The House Republican budget taxes low-income families for health care by forcing them to pay for Medicaid and CHIP. This budget puts Medicaid expansion at risk, making health care uncertain for thousands of Granite Staters. It decimates public education while lining the pockets of the ultra-wealthy through an expanded school voucher scheme. Friends, this budget slashes $50 million from the university system of New Hampshire, limiting access and affordability and threatening the workforce of our state. And let me tell you, this is personal for me, because as a graduate of both Plymouth State and the University of New Hampshire, I refuse to be silent as Republicans here in Concord force the next generation out of state in order to receive a high-quality education. We should all be pissed. The House Republican budget weakens public safety by laying off nearly 100 corrections officers and eliminating programs proven to reduce reoffense through rehabilitation. It gives corporate landlords even more power to evict tenants during this housing crisis, leaving families vulnerable and insecure. And this budget guts funding for community mental health services and resources for struggling families. It is unjust. It is immoral. And we can't stand for it. There's more. The House Republican budget eliminates the office of the child advocate, removing protections for our most vulnerable children. It cuts funding for tobacco prevention, WIC, and even family planning services. It eliminates funding for the New Hampshire Council on the Arts, the Human Rights Commission, and the Housing Appeals Board, which are critical agencies that protect and lift up our communities. And finally, it raids the Renewable Energy Fund while favoring fossil fuels, turning back progress on our march towards a clean energy future. This is not a budget for the people, it's a budget for the rich and powerful. It shifts the burden onto local communities, forcing property tax hikes and straining town and city budgets. It prioritizes special interests over working families. It makes devastating back of the budget cuts, which are hidden reductions that allow Republicans to dodge accountability while slashing essential services. Friends, if you're like me, you know that budgets are a statement of our values. And that's why we all need to ask ourselves, who does this state budget serve? The House Republican budget doesn't represent my values, it doesn't represent our values, and it certainly doesn't serve the hardworking people of New Hampshire. Friends, our state deserves better, our children deserve better, our seniors deserve better, and hard-working Granite Staters, they definitely deserve better. We cannot and we will not stand idly by while the programs and services that keep us safe, educated, and healthy are dismantled right here in New Hampshire. And that's why, in the lead up to the vote on the floor next week, House Democrats will continue sounding the alarm. We will continue fighting for a better budget. Because Granite Staters deserve a budget that invests in our future, not one that sells it off to the highest bidder. So today I'm asking all of you, are you ready to fight with us? Are you ready to fight for our families and for our schools, for our health care, for public safety? Are you ready to fight for our future? Today, we are here to send a message to those who put corporate interests over community interests. And together, we must demand a state budget that works for all of us, not just the uber wealthy and the well-connected. This weekend, please contact your state representatives and demand a better budget. New Hampshire deserves a budget that lifts us up, not one that will drag us down. Everyone here knows we can do better, and we must. The future of our state and the country we love absolutely depends on it. This Wednesday at noon, right here in this very spot, I hope you will join Leader Simpson and me and our colleagues in the House Democratic Caucus for our Demand a Better Budget rally, right back here in front of the State House. That's Wednesday from 12 to 1. Tell your family and friends, and we look forward to seeing you there. If Donald Trump and Elon Musk and their disciples here in Concord are going to take away what makes our country great and what makes our state great in order to line the pockets of the ultra-wealthy and CEOs of multinational corporations, then we are at least going to make sure that our neighbors know who is responsible. And then we're going to make them pay for it next November. I am so inspired by this incredible crowd here today. I'm heartened by your commitment and the commitment of the organizers who share our values as Granite Staters and Americans. We need to keep showing up, we need to keep speaking out, and we need to keep fighting back, because those in power in D.C. and here in Concord need to know that we are fighting for them. In closing here, I think we were all inspired on the floor of the United States Senate by Cory Booker. Who reminded us that Cory. Friend Senator Booker reminded us that the power of the people is greater than the people in power. And today, the power of the people is on full display here in Concord, in communities across our state and around the country, and we are showing that Granite Staters and Americans are fighting back. I am proud to be with you in this fight. New Hampshire House Democrats will stand with you today and every day, and together, let's keep fighting for a stronger New Hampshire. Thank you.
So first, I've had a request to just make sure that we say that neither of these lovely volunteers who are helping us with the sign language interpretation are licensed. We have to say that, just so you guys are aware. They are here on a purely volunteer helping us out in a crisis basis. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for making it more accessible here. We are getting everything on video, so we're going to be able to post these speeches online, and everybody will be able to participate in gaining the experience we've had here. Also, if you know of anyone who is deaf or hard of hearing, if you can kind of try to get them to the front so that they can participate, that would be awesome. So our next speaker is Chloe. Chloe is a proud transgender woman who quite literally stumbled into advocacy, which I totally get. A longtime resident of Concord, she found herself and others crisscrossing the state back in 2017, meeting and sharing her story of coming out. Those educational efforts by trans people and allies alike led to the passage of trans non-discrimination in 2018. Yeah, round of applause, yeah. A completely bipartisan effort signed into law by a Republican governor. Yes, New Hampshire's trans residents have enjoyed equal protections in housing, employment, and public spaces. That is until this year. How times have changed. Today's relentless attacks by a Republican-led legislature have found Chloe and others stepping up once again to lift and educate against hate. Everyone, please welcome Chloe.
Thank you, thank you. First, I just have to say, Grace, holy fucking shit. I feel like the local band having to perform in the club after Led Zeppelin was there. Or Chapel Roan. I'm dating myself. So hello, everyone. I'm Chloe, and I'm so honored to be here today. And before we get going, I know I just kind of swore, but I want to swear some more. Is that okay? Okay. So I am an out, proud, woke as fuck trans leftist, and I use she, her pronouns. That is so fucking crazy. And you know what? The thing is, Republicans and their propaganda campaigns want you to fear me, to fear trans folks, our genders, our pronouns, the queer community. They want to attack allies and even folks like you here today. We represent but 1% of the population, yet here we are, the perfect scapegoats. Why is this? I'll tell you why. It's to distract you from the 1%, the real problem, the real 1%, dismantling our fucking democracy in front of us in real goddamn time. Those crooked billionaires like Musk, Bezos, Zuckerberg, there are many, many more. The 1% of all of them, as I'm told, is very small, very small, very small. But don't look behind the curtain. But you get the point. Now, I know Democrats have failed us on many levels over the years, but friends, both parties are not the same. They are not. Just not. We need leadership to do far more and far faster with the passion of Bernie Sanders, Cory Booker, the squad down in D.C., and our fearless, fearless trans representatives here in Concord. There are more than one. They run the gambit, and they are incredible, and they're listening to the diarrhea in that building over and over again, and it needs to stop. They have been laying it on the line to protect me and others from being banned from simply living a life. Give it up for them once again to the trans legislators here in Concord. And give it up for the Dems as well, because they're busting their butts in there. Now, those Republicans. Oh, those Republicans. Boo. How they have fallen in only a few years. It's remarkable. The party of fiscal responsibility and small government. Yeah, bullshit. I call bullshit on that right now. Say what we will about our Democratic leaders. The Republicans have been infected by the 1%, and on a level I can't even begin to comprehend. They are like the Walking Dead. They sound like zombies in their talking points, and they're absolutely out of their fucking minds. They've been bought, bribed, threatened, I really don't know. But they are holding up innocent trans girls who just want to play fucking field hockey as what's wrong with society. And as they siphon tens of millions of dollars a year in this state from public education, the voucher scam is a scam. It's a goddamn scam. Say it with me. The voucher scam is a scam. They're slashing social services. You just heard Matt speak of this year's budget. It is a wet dream of Republicans and the rich. The safety nets that we have worked so hard to build, they are helping ICE travel around this goddamn state and disappear immigrants and refugees to God knows where. They're shipping people overseas secretly. We have no idea what goes on there. God forbid it's happening. But we got to stop it. It's reprehensible, it's immoral, and it needs to stop. But in this building behind us this year, Republicans, along with a few traitorous Democrats, Representative Jonah Wheeler, I'm calling you out right here, friend. These people have taken transphobia to new lows. In case you missed it, our once progressive Democratic rep from Peterborough, if you're in that part of the state, there you are. They have stood with the zombies that are the Republicans and launched verbal and legislative assaults on trans kids, their families, along with thousands of innocent trans and non-binary Granite Staters. And it's shameful. 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 Shame. 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 As a whole, the Republicans here in New Hampshire and nationally are disemboweling everything we as taxpayers have paid for and built. Remember that whole pooling of resources so the community can benefit together, right? Let's hear it for pooling of resources. I know it sounds crazy in this state, but taxes are good when they're fairly applied to the people across the board. The 1% should be paying their taxes, and they should be helping us maintain this community. They think you're too busy and too stupid to notice that they can lie, cheat, and steal our futures away from us, and we'll just let them. Are we going to let them? No. That's it. Give me a hell yeah for that. Hell yeah. These thieves, these cowards, they're banking on your own ignorance and apathy to hold all of us at bay. How does that make you feel? Do you all feel like loved and respected? No, hell no. Does that make you feel insulted and underestimated? Yeah. Fucking right. So you're mad. I'm mad. You're mad. You're mad. Everybody's mad here. So what do we do with that anger, right? That's the question I've been asking myself. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do, Chloe? What am I trying to do? I can't afford to put myself out there. I have a job. I have a kid. I have a family. I can't go to jail. I can't do this. I can't do that. Besides, who the fuck am I? Why am I? Who wants to listen to me? That is like a serious thing that we all face. Everybody up here who's been speaking to you today at one point or another has felt that doppelganger, that imposter syndrome. Believe me when I say, before I came out, I was just a balloon floating through the air. I knew nothing of the world that I lived in my 20s for a little bit. Oh, just to date myself, I'm 53. So when I came out, I was 44. And it's been a long process, but I have grown so much as a human because I have allowed myself to challenge all of those preconceptions I was born and raised with. And that is something that we all really need to do in our own work, right? It doesn't have to be, you don't have to come out as trans or queer or anything like that. It doesn't have to be so grandiose. But you can all take a step like you did here today to get into your cars, brave the weather, and stand here with all of us and make a stand and say to our representatives and governor behind us, to the president down in Washington and all those cronies, that we are here, we are together, and we are going to make a difference. All of your feelings, all of them are super, super valid, and my paper's getting wet. Uh-oh. Don't sign that. Don't sign that. And I want to just take a quick second and speak to all the men here. White male culture specifically, I used to walk in those shoes. They're cumbersome, they're uncomfortable, they're unforgiving, they're relentlessly, oh my God, I'm finding the word because I've gone off script, damn it. Grace and her speech, I can't keep up. So, to all the men in the audience, I know from firsthand experience how difficult it is to walk in the shoes of what we are told is a man, is masculinity, is a good man. We have tortured our little boys for generations away from the most basic of human emotions, empathy. And if you know, and you've been watching, who is the right attacking now? It's empathy. The very concept of empathy, they're saying, has devalued the American experience. And it's not true. Empathy is the enemy of what they are trying to do. If you have empathy in your heart and love for yourself, not as this strong Andrew Tate, MMA kind of guy who needs to be tough, aloof, and not feeling, you have those same feelings. I had those same feelings in my body from the day I was born as my sisters, but it was beaten the fuck out of me. It was beaten out of me. It was programmed out of me. And thank goodness I held on to that. It was in the closet with so many things as part of my personal experience. However, it laid there dormant for so long, and I wish I had those years back. But I'm going to tell you what. It's never too late. You always have an opportunity to come out here, to come anywhere. You can walk in this building. It's open to the public any day of the week. You can walk around. You can take a tour. You can sit in the gallery. You can plug yourself in. You can talk to legislators. You can talk to your senators. You can call them at home. At home. You can email them. You can have coffee with them. You can sit down and take that empathy that you have and that love that you have for yourself and your community and your family and really, really say, I do not stand for transphobia. I do not stand for homophobia. I do not stand for the disappearing of people of color who have done nothing but benefit this country and pay taxes. All of the things that have been said. Democracy is fragile, my friends. And there are people, very powerful people, who are determined to destroy it at any cost. So I'm asking each and every one of you here to look deep inside and find the strength and love and empathy to lift yourself, your families, your friends, your neighbors, and maybe even some strangers you've never met before. Because we must mobilize and be prepared to rise up and defend our Constitution, to defend the commitment to genuine freedom and equality for all people. And for some of us, believe me, you can only do what you can do. We all have something to bring to the table. It doesn't have to be speaking in a microphone. It doesn't have to be donating money. You can mail envelopes. And support the U.S. Postal Service. But some of us, we need to be ready to do this at any cost. They are not going to stop. And the first thing is we show up at events like this, and we keep showing up at events like this, and we encourage our friends and family who may not even know events like this are happening, and get folks plugged in with little baby steps if you have to, big pushes if you need. And if we give yourselves a round of applause for showing up on this rainy day, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for showing up. So now, all right, what do we do? What do we do? How do we do it? So in this state Senate and in the House, they have put a whole bunch of bills forward, anti-trans bills, every single thing. They want us to look like Tennessee, and we are not having any of that. So, like I said, you can call, you can email, you can speak to your representatives and senators, and maybe you can make a change. You can affect change. However, if they do not respond, the governor has a telephone number. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. Governor Ayotte, well, the secretary, yes, she doesn't answer herself. What a bitch. Hello, Kaylee Aya, you're calling the State House. How may I help you? So the number for the State House, if you have your phones, 603-271-2121 is the number of the corner office. 271-2121, 271-2121, 271-2121, 271-2121, 603 bitches. Ask her, be polite, be forthright, but do not back down and say you will not stand for transphobia, homophobia, and that trans lives matter. I have been preceded by generations of political activists, here today included. Grace, I love you so much. You are my fucking superhero. So we're going to take the chaos and the hate and all of the shock and awe that they've been providing to us and really turn it around and push it back on them, just like in the Hollywood movies. All these activists, black, queer, immigrant, femme, masculine, young and old, I am but one person with a singular voice. But I know voices carry, and I'm hoping you can recite a few incredibly empowering words by the iconic political activist, Ashada Shakur. All right, so I'm going to say it, you're going to say it back. I'm going to say it, you're going to say it back. Just like Holly's been training you all morning. Oh, let's give it up for Holly back here. She is incredible. She's donated all this time and this equipment. And these speakers, they are working as planned. Thank you. So here we go. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. In closing, my call to action, I know, in closing. I know that's what they told me to say. I don't know. Forthwith, henceforth, CC everybody. My call to action is that we all link arms for real or metaphorically and fight side by side. If we do this, we can and will win. And the way we do that, again, is we must first place down the individual fears that we've been given to carry like really heavy baggage. And we need to place that down. And through mutual love and respect, we will persevere. No matter who you are, no matter where you hail from, together we hold tremendous power. And that is what they are truly afraid of. Back to that empathy thing, right? It is one of the most powerful, important emotions that we are given. And if we can just lean into the empathy to see in others our own struggles, we can and will make a difference. For if we have everything to gain, we have nothing to lose but those chains. It all begins with love, It all begins with respect for ourselves and our combined communities. So to everybody, thank you so much for braving the rain. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'm a nobody from nowhere, but so are you, and we're going to change the world.
So this next speaker is a veteran and a Bronze Star recipient. Help me welcome Ed McCabe.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for the kind welcome. Yeah, I did 2 tours in Iraq and 3 in Afghanistan. I believe that every American citizen has a right to all freedoms that we all must enjoy, not just the ones that one party thinks we deserve and one party doesn't think some of us deserve. And by the way, there are no illegal people, and this country needs immigrants. But I'm here to talk about how the Doge, those idiots, let's put it that way, are attacking every governmental employee, the Veterans Administration, USAID. They're gutted. There are many Americans who don't think foreign aid should be paid because there are hungry Americans here. Hey, here's a good idea. Feed them. Yeah, feed them. And look, I know many of you who are great people, and a special thanks to everybody who took the time to make a sign. I've been enjoying them all morning. So thank you. And if you're starting to get cold, just jump around a little bit. And this is only liquid sunshine. So if you think of it like that, you'll be fine. You know, I have personal contact with USAID when I was in Afghanistan. And I'm going to get to Doge and Veterans Administration in a second, but they're also our brothers and sisters in USAID. And I knew closely 3 people in USAID, and one of them, I used to brief the 4-star generals, and I briefed 3 different ones over my 3 tours, and I never got fired, which was nice. You don't have to hold that up. So one of them was Dan Bajanich, and I got a lot of the information. I had to fly all over Afghanistan. And to look at projects, to take pictures of projects, and to talk to the tribal leaders and all that kind of thing, so that I could give accurate information to we called them COM, but the 4-star general for you civilians. and I got a lot of the information I needed from that man, right? So he's one of them, right? I couldn't have done my job well for the generals if I didn't know him, get to know him and get the resources of USAID. The second guy I want to talk to you about is Don Garrison. He was on a helicopter with me that was piloted by 2 Russians, and I was hitching a ride with him on their USAID contracted helicopter, and that helicopter was fired at by RPGs. And the Russians started yelling at each other in Russian, but I understood the word RPG. And we did make it to the base, Kajaki Dam, and we had to switch aircrafts. Let's just say that. But Don Garrison, what I'm trying to say is Don Garrison from USAID risked his life exactly like I did, right? So he was there for 5 years. I was there for 1.5 years. Okay? So, and then the third person, and I should probably censor a little bit. She was a lady who had been meeting in Helmand Province, trying to get a project set up for a village. And she'd been there a couple times before and talked with one of the village elders. But this time, the village elder had a container on him, and it was full of gasoline. And he threw it on this lady from USAID and set her on fire. She was flown to Germany then to Houston, went through 7 surgeries, and then died. Her close protection team caught the guy who did it and took him back to Kandahar and pistol whipped him for 15 minutes and then shot him. They were court-martialed, and they were cleared, because this wasn't perfect for anyone, right? But, so now I'll get to my point a little bit more. There are 2 kinds of power as far as military is concerned. There's hard power, and that's aircraft carriers and fighter jets and tanks, right? That's hard power, and there should be no torture. And John McCain was tortured when he was a POW. There should be no torture.
Yet they're building camps and now sending immigrants there.
They should not. They should not be sending any American to a place where people are tortured. And so there's that hard kind of power, and then there's soft power. And USAID was the soft power part of that. And they work closely with the U.S. military. They work closely with the U.S. Embassy. They work closely with the NGOs, non-governmental organizations working in Afghanistan. This is insane. For the tiny amount of money it costs, we shouldn't be cutting USAID like this. They literally don't know what they're doing. But it turns out they're wasting government. They're wasting government. They're winging how to reform government. Everybody thinks you might be able to trim something here or trim something there, but they are winging it, and they're causing a lot of damage. And a lot of this damage can't be turned back. The games they're playing with tariffs just lost $6.2 trillion in the stock market, which is where your retirement accounts are and where your investments are. And will it affect regular people? You're damn right it will. So the military does what you tell us to do. And that's the way the Constitution has it set up. And the president, as the commander-in-chief, can send us anywhere he wants. But the other side of that coin is if we get wounded, if we, Vietnam, this was Agent Orange affects Vietnam guys, or the burn pits affect Iraq and Afghanistan guys. And unfortunately, I have those kind of problems. But the previous president, President Biden, who had a son who died of brain cancer after being next to a burn pit in Iraq, was a huge proponent of the PAC Act, but that's a huge bill. And by the way, it was Democrats who got that passed, right? Yeah, Democrats do everything. And President Biden just didn't pass a bill. He made sure it was well written. He made sure that they hired more people at the VA. So what Trump is doing is he's reversing all the people who had been hired to handle this influx of people in their medical tests that they would need to be assessed for the PAC Act, right? And that's 27% of the people who work for the VA are veterans. A similar percent in all the other governmental organizations. And I'm not saying we should only care about veterans who get laid off. I saw somebody with a software engineer sign over here. So we have some very senior, very well-educated people who, and here's the other thing people don't realize. It's not only the new people that they just hired, it's also the people who got mid-level and senior promotions that haven't been in those positions very long who are getting fired. So we're getting rid of the young, up-and-coming, recently educated, bright kids that are, and they're not kids, they're men and women, but they're the ones starting out and will be the next generation of support for our elderly, for our veterans, for our disabled people, right? So they should be supported and not treated like. The other thing they're doing is they're firing people, including veterans, and saying, we're firing you because you did a bad job. But their recent evals are the highest ratings that can be given. So they're lying about it. So it's carelessness. It's there. Yeah, somebody used the word empathy, and empathy is a quality of a man or a woman, no matter who they are, right? But not everybody has that naturally. Trump does not. But also, we got a billionaire who, and I don't know if you know this, and I don't have this written down, but I'm going to say it anyway. Elon Musk's family went to South Africa when apartheid started, and he left. His family left when it ended. So.
USAID sent all the weapons to fund the apartheid, to fund the resistance against Angola.
Yeah, we can talk later, but you keep interrupting my speech. I don't appreciate that. So I don't support fascism. I think we should all support democracy. I did 20, and they want to put, if you look at Trump's cabinets, what are they made up of? Billionaires. Okay, they're some of the richest men in this and women in this country. If you don't, yeah, yeah. If he doesn't stop attacking me, yeah. So if either he's misinterpreting what I'm saying or I don't know, but look, the kind of people I fought for were people just like who are standing here, all of you. The previous speakers who have spoken, those are the people I fought for. In my own family, I have diversity. And I fought for them. I fought for rights for everybody, okay? And you know, the military itself is a diverse place, and we have diverse political views and all that kind of thing. But I've never been on the immoral side, at least as far as I believe for myself, right? So, but I also did what my government asked me to do. And what you're doing right now is actually supporting democracy. And we veterans who have been wounded in the war, we veterans who fought in combat multiple times, and many veterans who fought in combat fought multiple times in multiple wars, right? So we'll do it, but we couldn't do it without your support. And the Vietnam guys did not get treated very well when they came back, but the country did rethink how that went. And the Iraq and Afghanistan guys, when we came back, you all supported us. You all gave us a lot of support. And there were bad things that happened during the war, and show me a war where bad and evil things don't happen. And I denounced them. But we also tried to help little girls go to school. We also tried to educate women to be pilots. We also were disgusted when we saw a woman in a burqa with a grate over her face in trying to walk across 5 lanes of traffic with 4 little kids, right? So my heart still bleeds for Afghanistan, and especially the women and girls in Afghanistan. But we got to try to do what's right, and we got to figure out how to win a war without dropping a nuclear bomb on Hiroshima or Nagasaki, or firebombing Dresden or Tokyo, right? We got to figure out how to win a war by winning hearts and minds. And the military is very good. The military is very good at toppling a government. We're not very good at building a new one, right? So think about this, right? Then you do need places like USAID and NGOs and IOs and contracted people, right? So the other thing with the Veterans Administration is they're gutting all the contracts, because that sounds like the easiest thing to do. And that's what they want this to be. They want to pull up GTP and that kind of stuff and try to run a government with it. When it needs to be done very carefully and with precision, and if you do everything deeply and try to do it all at once and try and do it in the first 100 days. By the way, believe it or not, it's only been like 77. But yeah. But don't just be activated. Just don't be active today. When the midterms come up, make sure the vote gets out. When there's a special election, make sure the vote gets out, you know? And if somebody's a dyed-in-the-wool Trump person who's possessed with him, maybe don't waste so much time. Perfect. Yeah, get you. Don't maybe waste so much time. But if the person is gettable, try and talk to them. And once again, I got to end this here. I want to thank all of you who came here, the people who made the signs. Some of them are good. I've been trying to take some pictures of them and remember some of them. So thank you, everybody, for being here. And I've spoken too long, and I want to turn this over to the next speaker. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys, is it just me or is it getting colder? Yeah, listen. I use my privilege to sit under the tent there, but it was downpouring and you guys stuck around and you're still sticking around. I really appreciate you guys. Give yourselves a big round of applause for being out here in the cold and rain. Apparently the rain is supposed to clear in about an hour, so cross your fingers, knock on wood, all that stuff. I don't think that we have had great weather for any of our protests, so I think that it shows the world New England grit, though. Not afraid to be uncomfortable here. All right. So our next speaker is a former U.S. Senator from the state. We can welcome Gordon Humphrey.
Let's give it up for Gordon.
Fellow citizens, I have good news. I'm only going to speak for 3 minutes. And I'm not going to use any crude language. Let us remember that our children are watching and listening. And I want to congratulate the organizers and everyone here who is committed to making this a non-confrontational demonstration. You hear those car horns? That's an attempt at confrontation. Don't fall for that. We're all Americans, Republicans, Democrats, independents like me. I left the Republican Party 8 years ago when Trump showed up. We're all Americans. We're one big family, and protecting our freedom is a family responsibility. So let's try, as our veteran friend said a moment ago, to speak in a civil tone to those who got conned by Donald Trump last November. He's a con artist, a first-class con artist. That's his greatest talent, his only talent as far as I can determine. So anyway, the theme of this event is hands off. Hands off what? Well, as we've heard, hands off a lot of things. But mainly, hands off our Constitution, hands off our freedom. Hands off our freedom. 40 years ago, this is a historic place we're standing upon. 40 years ago, one of the finest presidents in modern history stood at a lectern on these very stairs, Ronald Reagan, and said that I was there. I was privileged as a young United States Senator to sit next to the lectern. And he said, if anyone has doubt about whether freedom is still strong in America, let them come to New Hampshire. Live free and die, live free or die is more than a motto, it's a way of life. So let us stand for our Constitution. Let us stand for the separation of powers. When the President of the United States the office of President of the United States is our chief executive. He or she is sworn to uphold the laws passed by Congress, not to thwart them, not to abolish departments created by Congress, not to refuse to spend money appropriated by Congress, not to attack the Congress as a separate and equal branch of the government. The duty of the President is to faithfully execute the laws and to preserve and defend the Constitution of the United States. And Donald Trump is failing miserably and deliberately at that sacred responsibility. And to call for the impeachment of justices, judges, is an attack upon the separate and equal branch of the judiciary. The separation of powers is what keeps America free from dictatorship. And when those powers are eroded, that separation is eroded, the barriers between us and despotism are likewise eroded. So stand up for freedom, stand up for the Constitution, stand up for the future of our children. God bless you, one and all. Thank you.
We're now welcoming Lisa Beaudoin. She's the principal consultant. She runs strategies for disability equity. She's a former executive director of ABLE NH. Lisa is a dedicated advocate for disability rights, policy, and systems change, with a wealth of experience in promoting equity and inclusion, and is certified in diversity, equity, and inclusion by Cornell University. Please welcome Lisa.
All right, everyone. Y'all are brave because, honey, sugar melts in the rain. So take care today. Alrighty, so I'm Lisa Beaudoin. In addition to those other things, I'm also a proud chair of the Concord City Dems. It is good to be together making peaceful good trouble. And you all have enormous attention span, so thank you for coming out and for staying. Give yourselves a big woo! I'm a mom of a 29-year-old man with disability, and I am now a proud woman standing in front of you with a disability that I acquired when a dirtbag decided his phone was more important than my life, and his Mack truck slammed into, or his Ford F-350 slammed into my Prius. I stand before you having had my 14th surgery 6 weeks ago. So, I thought I knew a little something about life with a disability because I had a child with a disability, but let me just tell you, you don't know much about life with a disability until you have one. And we are all a decade, a birth, or an accident away from being in this community. So I just want to tell you that people with disabilities are everywhere, and if you do not know someone or do not yet experience a disability, it will inevitably touch your life too. I want to say that disability rights are human rights. Disability rights are what? Human rights. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Disability rights are what? Human rights. Disability makes up 20% of the American population. Bet you didn't know that. But I'm going to make a strong pivot. And I'm going to just jump into talking about one of the most important messages we have here today, which is hands off Medicaid. Hands off what? Medicaid. Hands off what? Medicaid. Medicaid is what makes New Hampshire thrive. Do not let anyone tell you anything differently. Small businesses depend on Medicaid and Medicaid expansion. Low-income families, children depend on Medicaid. When there is Medicaid, we have a strong, nimble workforce that can respond to what the economy needs here in New Hampshire. 1 in 4 children in New Hampshire are on Medicaid. 5 out of 8 nursing home residents are on Medicaid. And I'll tell you this, people on Medicaid are not lazy. 65% of people on Medicaid work. What most people don't realize, though, is that there is standard Medicaid and Medicaid expansion that covers children and low-income families and people who earn up to 138% of the federal level of poverty. But what most people don't understand, because people with disabilities are mostly invisible. And at the back of the room, Medicaid pays for 60% of all Medicaid funding pays for community-based life for people with disabilities and seniors. Medicaid is critical to the survival and well-being of the disability community. And we are here today to raise up our voice to say, hands off Medicaid. People with disabilities can and do want to work. People with disabilities vote. People with disabilities go out and sing karaoke. They are capable of being lifelong learners, being your friends, and being engaged in all elements of civil society. We are here to say that Medicaid is core to our existence. So, what are we going to tell Governor Ayotte? What are we going to tell the feds? I will also say that we have elected officials with disabilities. There are students with disabilities. There are seniors with disabilities. There are veterans with disabilities. There are immigrants with disabilities. There are members of the LGBTQ with disabilities. You cannot forget that all vulnerable populations depend on Medicaid. It's what gives us the ability to participate and collaborate in this amazing nation that often makes mistakes, but that's why our Constitution was written. We are an ever-striving nation, and you all are here today helping us strive to take back what we need to take back. I'm going to pivot now to the call to action, because we're all cold and we all need to be moving around a little bit more and get a break from all this talking. We do not have to accept that there is an $880 billion proposal by the U.S. House GOP to cut Medicaid for a $4.5 trillion tax cut for the rich. We say no! We are not going to allow tax cuts for the rich to be hoisted on the backs of people with disabilities and other vulnerable citizens. No! So what can you do? You can tell Governor Ayotte to grow some courage. She is our chief executive. She needs to tell the feds, keep your hands off Medicaid. You know what else Kelly Ayotte needs to say? She needs to tell the New Hampshire legislature they can take their 3% Medicaid rate cut and their premiums for low-income families and say a big bullshit no. Kelly Ayotte needs to tell the New Hampshire legislature that she will not sign a budget that includes any cuts to Medicaid. She needs to tell the legislature, hands off Medicaid. Hands off Medicaid! So, I will close and tell you that together we can make sure to send a strong message to Governor Kelly Ayotte. She needs to stand up and say, any cuts to Medicaid are harmful to New Hampshire's economy and citizens from Nashua to Berlin. You have to go to this QR code, sign this electronic petition that calls for Kelly Ayotte not only to tell the feds, hands off Medicaid. She has to do it loud and proud. And she also has to tell the New Hampshire legislature that she will not sign a budget that has the end of the interest and dividends tax cuts for the wealthy with portfolios riding on the backs of poor citizens in New Hampshire. No and no and no. So you can You can get involved with the New Hampshire Hands Off Medicaid campaign by going over to that gray top tent over there. You can continue to send the message, get 5 of your friends to send a letter to Governor Ayotte. We have letters over there, and we need to be really clear. We are not letting tax cuts for the rich ride on the backs of our most vulnerable citizens. And I'm going to close with reminding you all that disability rights are human rights.
Okay, you guys may have been hearing a lot of honking. In case you weren't aware, that's all in support of us. It sounds like car alarms are going off, right? It's just constant, but that is the support that we get from Concord. So thank you guys all for being a part of it again. I'm going to sneak in one more little speaker here. This was an issue that was close to his heart, and he wanted to say a few words. This is Heath Howard. He represents Stratford and Barrington. Welcome Heath, everyone.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate every single one of you being out in the rain today. It means a lot, because right now we need to stand up and fight back and tell the federal government and tell our state government, hands off Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, NIH funding, CDC funding, cancer research, because so many people are being made extremely vulnerable right now, and we need to do something. And I ask all of you to contact every single one of your elected officials, whether that's state, local, federal, and tell them how you feel about this, because that's the only way we're going to see any sort of change. I have seen so much going on right now with people like Elon Musk going in saying that there are people in my community, the disability community, that are so-called welfare queens, while he is siphoning millions of dollars right to his own companies like Tesla and SpaceX, and he is not the welfare queen? That is insane. We need to actively point this out, say, you have actively taken money from the federal government, you have been making our tax dollars and wasting them and making us pay more. We need to fight back, we need to say no, and we need to say support things like health care. We need to make sure that health care is a human right in this country, because we are the only country in the first world that has not done so. We need to actively fight and do more, because we saw this last election that the working people abandoned the Democratic Party, and we need to fight to make sure that we get them back. And the only way to do so is by fighting for the economic needs of these people. I appreciate all of you so much for being here out in the rain, and I encourage you all to join me in signing up at the table over on the left-hand side here. Thank you, and I'll pass it off.
Thank you so much, Heath. Appreciate you so much. I wasn't sure when I was going to be able to let him speak. He was willing to stand here in the rain to talk to you all. That's amazing, right? All right. So, last couple of speakers. Our next one, please welcome Congressman Chris Pappas.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for enduring, for staying out here through all the rain. Look, what we're seeing in Washington, D.C. right now, all
right, everybody, we are all here, and we're all here in unity. We all support free Palestine here. We all support it.
All right, guys.
People, please let the congressman speak. You do not yet know what he is going to say. He is here in support. Please, let's give him some space.
We support you. Please stop.
Let
him talk, please. Blood on his hands. Let him talk.
Please let the congressman speak. It is your right to protest. It is his right to speak.
Let him talk.
Let him speak.
Let him talk. 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 Please. We're asking
Hey guys, let's keep it down for just a second. Give me a second, okay? I didn't do shit to you guys. Give me a minute, man. Nobody disagrees with you. Look around, listen to the chants of this crowd every time we come out.
Disagrees with you.
Yeah. Do you know what? We have offered, I'm talking, okay? I'm talking. We have offered this stage to the people who we have elected to represent us. We have offered to let them answer to you. They cannot answer to you if you do not give them an opportunity to use the mic.
We're all on the same side here.
I understand. We understand. Okay. You cannot hold people accountable without giving them an opportunity to speak. So give him this one.
If you
give
want to
him
have
this
your
one.
chance, you can talk, but he has a right to talk.
I don't know how to go from here.
Unite against Trump! 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 Unite against Trump!
Hi. They're not, this is the DSA. This is the DSA.
Do we have a police detail?
We do not.
My name is Holly. I've been here all day on the mic and running sound and everything for you. This is what I will say. We are all here united. We are all here united. Yes. Yes. We are here united. We want to see Palestine free. We want that. We want that so much. It is a genocide. We have spoken on this today. Repeatedly. We need to support our people in office so they can help support us. And the only way that we can change their minds is if we speak up to them. I think that Chris Pappas hears us when we say we want a free Palestine. That's why he's here. And that's why we're all here. We can, if you want people to unite in your cause, you cannot come at us all aggressive like that, because the louder you speak doesn't make us hear you greater. We hear you, we see Palestine, we see Gaza.
All right, I'm going to take the mic for a second because I got to tell you guys something. I've been very, very open about this, so I don't want to hear any boos. I don't want to hear, well, you're a fraud. I've been very open about this. I grew up in a MAGA household before MAGA existed. I grew up in a Republican, Christian nationalist household. Okay? So I'm recovered. It's okay. Okay? But here's the thing. I grew up with the pro-Israel ideas. Never quite settled well with me, but honestly, I didn't know much about it. And I'm going to tell you right now, the thing that got me to change my position... Switch with you? The thing that got me to change my position was not people screaming at me or booing me, but to have conversations, gain knowledge. I learned the origins of Israel. I learned the motivations, the history, and I got familiar with the culture. In order to change our representatives' minds, we need to be able to have these conversations in a respectful way. I am going to give the mic back to the congressman. I am going to give the mic back to the congressman, and I expect everybody to be respectful.
All right, everybody's going to join with me. We're going to say, hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald
We have had, every protest that we've had here has been violence-free. We thank everybody that has stood in commitment to being violence-free. We want people to be able to speak up for the things that they care about, for the things that matter to them, and for the things that they hope that our congressmen and our congresswomen and our representatives speak for us. So we are speaking today for making sure that Donald Trump and his Elon Doge bros keep their hands off of our human rights. So when I say human rights, I want you to say hands off. Human rights. Hands off. Veterans. Hands off. Libraries. Hands off. Art. Hands off. Parks. Hands off. Water. Hands off. Communities. Hands off. LGBTQIA+. Hands off. Trans rights. Hands off. Human rights.
All right, guys, thank you so much for your patience. We know stuff like this is possible. There are a lot of people here with a lot of different ideas. We at 5051 believe that we should give people opportunities to speak. We believe in our voices, and we believe in that opportunity. So if we can see Maggie, and I don't see her. She was right here a second ago. Where's Maggie?
You Free Palestine people, we have no problems with you guys expressing your free speech, but you do not have a permit to be on State House property, and I have already had a dispatch send an officer. You will be removed to public property if you do not leave on your own. We have a right to be here. We have a right for a presentation. We have a right for our speakers, and they have a right to be shown respect. Regardless, you have your issues, and we have set aside time so people can voice their opinions afterwards. So, those of you who are not with our group holding a flag, you have been told to leave and go to public property, or you will be removed when the dispatch gets here. Thank you. Do not cause another disturbance. We appreciate it.
Guys, I just want to say again how much I appreciate those of you who have been supportive of us, who have been supportive of these events. We know that by being peaceful and by sharing our voices, we can work together to accomplish great things. We know that our elected representatives aren't always perfect, but we expect them to try, and we expect them to answer us. And if they have the courage to come out into a group like this, knowing that they won't always agree with them, that's got to be something, right? This time around, I have for you Maggie Goodlander, who has been wonderful and been in contact with us since we announced this event. So I'm very happy she's here with us. I'm very happy to meet her in person.
Thank you. Wow. We are the people, and the people have the power. I feel like I'm surrounded by poetry out here. Your signs are poetry. I had a speech, but it got a little wet. But I still have what I carry around with me. Two things. The United States Constitution and our Declaration of Independence. And a poem from Muhammad Ali, a fighter and a poet. It's called Truth. He said, are you a little cold out here right now? I'm a little cold out here right now, but this is what truth says. The soul of truth is flaming, and I know your souls are flaming right now. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain or storm. And here we are through rain or storm. The truth in the end shall win, he said, and that is right. Truth without strength, it is fragile. Strength without truth, it is tyranny. Why are we here? We're here. We all came for the same basic reason. We love our state, we love this country, and we love one another. That's what brings us here. Love. And when you love something, you fight for it. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we're doing right now. Each and every one of you is an expression of love for one another and for this country. We are going to fight for our democracy because our democracy is not for sale. We saw that. It's not for sale. And since 1776, right here in New Hampshire, we've been throwing off tyrants and kings, and we're going to keep on doing that every single day. Because this is a democracy of we the people. So, what are we fighting for? We're fighting for democracy. We're fighting for freedom because here we are in the live free or die state. No one believes in freedom more than we do here in New Hampshire. We believe in the freedom to breathe clean air, to drink clean water, to love who we love, to be who we are. The freedom to learn in public schools, and we will fight for our public schools. We will fight with everything we've got, because what we see right now is a person who calls himself a king and an unelected billionaire who want to privatize everything that is public, the common good, the things that we have fought for. I saw a sign earlier. My father didn't serve in World War II for this. No, we're going to protect our veterans, fight for our veterans. We're going to fight for a fair deal. And what we've got right now is a senseless trade war. A senseless trade war that's about jacking up your taxes. Biggest tax hike in a half century, all right? What's this all for? It's to give billionaires and big corporations the biggest tax break we've seen in a whole long time. Does anyone here think that billionaires and big corporations need another tax break? No. Hell no. So what's this for? What are we going to be fighting for? We're going to be fighting for our Social Security. You know why? Because Social Security is not a Ponzi scheme, Elon Musk. Social Security is a promise that we've made to one another and that we are going to fulfill. You've been paying into Social Security your entire working life, and I'm going to fight with everything I've got for the rest of my life for that promise, to make good on that promise. Power to the people. We are going to be fighting for Medicaid. All right, the biggest cuts to Medicaid in American history. That's what we're up against. We're going to fight for Medicaid because healthcare is a right. And mental health care is health care, period, full stop. We're going to be fighting for that. I couldn't be prouder to be in this fight alongside each and every one of you. Our hands are cold, but our hearts are warm, and our souls are on fire. God bless you, God bless New Hampshire, and God bless this country.